Yeah, welcome to the Telangana Open School 10th class social session. Uh, Myself, I am Rajendra Kumar. Today, I am going to take a lesson on social studies. Yes, as a part of this one, I am taking a population chapter. It is myself, I am Rajendra Kumar, PGT Economics, Model School Ketepelli, Nalgonda district. Let's see the learning outcomes of this unit. Explains the importance of census and analyzes the theory of demographic transition, analyzes the age composition in India, comments on gender discrimination, explains the reasons for differences in population density in India, explains the importance of human resources in development. Now let's see whom we call as a population. Group of people residing in a particular place is called as a population. So here, for social and economic development, this is must. Means a group of people, means a population is very important for this one. So to achieve through mutual cooperation in a community, population is needed. So that is what it is an important factor which we'll study through this. What are the demography it is? Generally, whatever the counting of population, we call it as a census. Every year, every 10 years, it will take place in India. Last time in 2011, that one took place, and now in 2021, this one may take place. So like this one, for every 10 years, we will collect the data, and this is done by the government of India. It is. So now let's see why to study about the population. To know the population in a country at a particular time means every year or else for 5 years or 10 years, how much population is there. Growth rate, whether the population is growing or not, this one is very important. Composition and distribution of the population, quality of life, how it is there, poverty, unemployment, this all can be examined through this study. So the population growth can be seen as a resource. Here it is a, even though it is a one side, it is a problematic one because of the overpopulation is a it is a problem only. But economically, if we see, it will be seen as a resources, as a human resources. So that is what that one has to be treated as the resources rather than just a problem. Now let us see about the theory on this demographic transition. According to this theory, each country passes through 3 stages in this. What are the growth of birth and death cities? Now let us examine the first stage, that one it is. Both the births and deaths are very high in this one. Means here, very high birth rate will be there, very high death rate also will be there. Due to this high birth rate and death rate, the population growth is not there. Because of how many people born, that many died. So that is what it is balancing. Deaths are high. Why? Because of due to lack of proper medical facilities, low standard of living, and diet without nutritional value. The food what you are taking is not correct. And for the high birth rate, we can see illiteracy, superstitions, and certain social norms. That are the reasons for this. What are the high birth rate that one it is. India before 1921 experienced this. What are the first stage it is there. Now let us see the some of the things of this. What are the first stage that one it is. We can see that one it is as already I said that one it is the birth and death rates. These two are same. There is no change in this one. Means both are very high, and due to high birth rate and high death rate, the population growth won't be high. Population growth will not be there. Now let us see the reasons. High death rate, it is a lack of proper medical facilities, low standard of living, diet without the proper nutrition value, and high birth rate is because of illiteracy, superstition, and certain what are the social norms are there. Now in the second stage, high birth and low death rates are there. Here, just observe, high birth rate is there and low death rates are there. Due to high birth rates and low death rates, the population growth is high. Why? Because of birth rates are high, deaths are slow. So now let us examine why low death rate. Economic development, improvement of standard of living of the people, creation of health facilities, means establishment of hospitals, special efforts to check the contagious diseases. That one is a reason for the low death rate, means medical facilities has improved. Then why high birth rates? Backwardness of the people, that is very important, because of with the backward they can't think that one the harms of high population, and superstitions, lack of proper education, some social factors. These are responsible for the high birth rate, it is. Now let's see about the third stage, it is. In the third stage, we can see both what are the deaths and birth rate is less, low birth rate and as well as low death rates. Why? Let us see this one. Low death rate because of the increase in the medical what are the health facilities, and why the birth rate is low, that one if you see, economic growth is there. When the economic growth is there, naturally people whatever the thinking one will change, and the scientific and technological changes, changes in the professions, means whatever the shift in the sectors, that one it is there. Urbanization, rapid industrial and the service sector, the development of that one it is leading for the low birth rates, it is. Because of this all the factors, whereas people will think that when it is 1 or 2 children, so that is what are the low birth rate will be there. Here it is currently, means India is present in this position, it is. If you see the first stage, we were in before 1921, it is. Now we are almost, it is in the third stage, it is. You can see this, whatever the birth rates and this one it is. Here it is whatever the birth rate and death rate, that one it is there, that one has come down, and now it is both are equal, it is. So these are the demographic stages, that one what we can see it is. Slowly both have come down, what are the death rate and as well as the birth rate also. So like this one, the changes will take place in this one. Now let us see about the population growth and expansion in India. What are the changes in the population is having the 3 dimensions. One is birth rate. Second is mortality rate, nothing but we are calling it as a death rate, it is. And migration. Migration means people moving from one place to another place. This one will have very low impact. If we subtract a decade ago population from the current population, means about 10 years back, how much population it is there, and that one if we subtract from the present one, if the result is positive, the growth is there. If the result is negative, then the population is decreasing. So generally population decreasing, that one we won't see. Only if it is a big wars and as well as if it is a contagious diseases, dangerous one, if it is there, then we can see. We have experienced it in 1920-21 period, it is in India. India covers about some 2.4% of the world's land area. Means here it is in the total world, if you see, our land is just 2.4%. But it is supporting 17.6% of the total population. With only 2% of the land, we are supporting 17% of the population. And we are in the second place in the terms of the population, total population, second place after the China. China is standing in the first place with a population of, India is with a population of 121 crores, 12 millions, it is according to 2011 census. It is. And the first stage period, as already we said, that when it is before 1921, it was there. From 1881 to 1921, there was only an increase of 15 millions. And an increase of 110 millions was seen between 1921 to 1951, which is almost, it is what are the second stage of this one. Third stage, it is from 1951 to 1981, very high growth it was there, which was from 361 millions to 683 millions in 30 years of the period, means from 1951 to 1981, this one took place. Now let's see about some important things that when it is what is birth rate, what is death rate, and what is infant mortality rate. It is birth rate means here the number of births per thousand in an area over a period for 1 year is called as a birth rate. Generally, we will take rate per 100, but here we will take per 1000. It is so birth rate is equal to number of live births in a year in an area divided by mid-year population in that area into 1000. If we do, we will get the birth rate. The same way, the death rate also it is the number of deaths per 1000 in the region over a period of 1 year. That one we call it as a death rate, means nothing but number of deaths in a year in an area divided by mid-year population in that area into 1000. Then we will get this, what are the death rate it is. Infant mortality it is regarding the small children. It is this is also will affect the population growth. It is the number of deaths of children under 1 year of age per 1000 live births. Why this one is very important? Because of due to lack of medical facilities, so many children will die. That is what this is one of the major indicator we can see. In the second half of the 20th century, infant mortality rate was 218, means for every 1000, 218 deaths were there. But by 2010-11, that one dropped down to 47. Why? Because of there is an increase in the health facilities. It came significantly down due to health facilities, and as well as whatever the government is implementing some schemes regarding the nutrition when it is there. So that is what means here for the maternal, means for the mother also some nutrition food is supplying through various ways. So that is what here we can see there is a decrease in the infant mortality, and it is very good indicator that when it is the economic development of the country also depends on this, what the infant mortality rate it is. Gender ratio means here it is a male to female. If you see the main indicator of this one, it is which will show the whatever the society one it is the quality of a nation's population as a human resources is the sex composition or sex ratio. It is sex ratio is defined as the number of females per 1000 males. Means here for 1000 males, how many female are there? That one it is a major indicator. The sex ratio in our country always it is a negative only. In 1901, it was 972 females per every 1000 males. That one had dropped to 946 in 1951. 951 and to 933 in 2001. So there is a drop in this one. General ratio. The total number of females in an area. What is the general ratio? How we will get that one if we see? If it is the total number of females in an area, that one it is divided by total numbers in that area into 1000. If we do, we get this, what is the gender ratio it is. So here it is when we think of India, we have, means in Kerala and Puducherry, it is a very good ratio it is there. Why? Because of here it is, as you know, that one these states are very important for the education, means they have developed well it is. And even if you see Kerala, which is 1084, it is there, quite a positive one it is there. And even Puducherry 1038 it is there. Haryana and Punjab are the quite low one, as we know, quite backward it is there. That is what, whereas here we can see a very what are the female infanticide, whereas we can see here. That is what here it is when you examine this, whatever the table, that one it is there. That one it is infants in 2001 if you take, and 2011 you see it is boys, girls, there is a difference. You check it. You can see the girls one, it is a negative only. So that is what here it is there is a need of some, what are the society changes that one should take place in this one. Gender discrimination, that one it is quite wants a male child to be born rather than a female child. That one it is still that one it is taking place in our country. Female infant mortality is high, and gender ratio is negative, because discrimination against women starts from the birth only. It is why? Because of here it is most of the women don't want even the girl child also. It is female children are less important providing the nutrition food also. What are the fertilized that when it is taking place, means whereas in the mother's womb itself the female womb, they are killed. Many families consider girls as a burden, and illiteracy also that is one of the major one. It is literacy rate wherever low it is there we can see this, what are the gender discrimination. Now let us see about the population explosion. According to the Malthus, one of the he proposed the population theory, that one it is population will grow in a geometric series, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, like that one. And crop production means whereas we need food, so the crop production is in the arithmetic series, that is 1, 2, 4, 6. You see, try to understand this one. Geometric series 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 means it is a doubling, but crop production is not doubling. It is only plus 1 like that one, just to, it is taking place. So here these, what are the changes that one it is there, that one it is there mainly in the Malthus theory of population. It is now let us examine why there is a population explosion in India. One is high birth rates and low mortality rates, and migration. Of course, migration one is very less, that one it is there. Impact is very less, that one, but these two, high birth rate and low mortality, is very important. Now let's see the possible causes of low mortality rate. Drought control means whereas very good crop irrigation and effective reduction of drought conditions are led for the low mortality rate. Why? Because of the food is available, so that is what the deaths also it is very less. And next, if we see it is the disease control, means if you see earlier, what are the diseases like cholera, malaria and smallpox that one have been prevented perfectly. So that is what here it is. We can see the death rate is very well controlled, and improvement of medical facilities, provision of drinking water, sanitation, and the provision of education facilities, immunization, and the implementation of poverty alleviation schemes. This all it is a causes of a low mortality rate. It is. Now let us see that why high birth rate it is there. Here majorly we can see the two things it is economic reasons and social reasons. And if we see economic one, agriculture sector domination is one. What will happen? Why? Because of the agriculture sector, when it is there, when the people are depend on that one, they won't find any difficulty in feeding the children. So that is what they won't think about the population control. Urbanization is one cause, and poverty. How poverty? Because of the poor people won't feel the children as their burden. It is because of they won't think about any quality of the life or any standard of life. It is so that is what they won't think about the population control. It is and the social one. If you see, marriage system is a universal one. In India, it is a quite compulsory the marriage one. It is. So it is in the society that one it is there. If you see the Western one, most of the people are there who are without marriages. It is. So that is one. And getting married at young age. When the engaged marriage it is there, fertility rate will be more, and that one will is a reason for the high what is the birth rate it is. Religion, superstition, and backwardness also one of the reason. Joint family system, because of area it is a joint family system. Also they won't think the child is as a burden. It is lack of best educational practices. Education is there, but here it is understanding of the some of the social things that one it is not taking place in this one. The family planning is not the successive one. That is what, whereas the population growth is not controlled, and which is leading to the high birth rate. What has to be done? First thing, economic measures. Instead of agriculture, one industrial sector has to be expand. Why? Because of the if more jobs are created in that one, what will happen? People will be engaged in that works, and they wanted to provide their children a quality life. So that is what they will opt for the small family. This is one reason why we have to expand the industrial sector, and the job creation also. It is industrial and as well as the service sector. Poverty alleviation. Here it is as already I said that when it is a poverty is one of the important thing where the poor people will not think about the economic burdens. It is because of they won't think about inequality. So poverty alleviation, if we take place, means if we bring whoever the poor people are there into this, what means if we provide any good source of income, then they also will be educated, and they also will be thinking about the growth of the population. Then social measures. Literacy. Literacy is very important. Why? Because of the literate people will think about the society. They know what will happen if the population growth is not under control. And the next, it is the age of marriage. The age of marriage has to increase. At present, if we see for the male 21 years and for the female 18 years is there according to the legal one it is. This one also has to be increased. Then only the population will be under control. And the family planning methods has to be implemented properly. Means here both the government and the non-government organizations has to take this one as a challenge, and should take to the people about the overpopulation. Means the problems of the population should take to the common people, so they can understand and can reduce this the growth of population. Now population density, it is one of the important tool. Population density means per square kilometer how many people are living. Means here population in a specific area divided by area. Means area that one if we take in a square kilometers, then we will get population density. For example, suppose an area is 10 square kilometers. if the area has a population of 25,000, then the population density we can take it as a 25,000 divided by 10, that it is equal to 2,500 is the whatever the density of the population. It means that the number of people living in that area is 2,500 per square kilometer. So what the density will show? Density is an indicator that how the living conditions are there in one area. Assuming that a place is densely populated, it means that the terrain, infrastructure, all the things are suitable for living. If it is everything is good, more number of people will live. If it is not good, then more number of people won't live. If you take India, India's density is 382 per square kilometer. But at the same time, you see, here it is in India map, you can see these are the indicator cities, where red colored one, it is highly populated one, and slowly that one it is coming, and a greenish one, it is a very less population. Suppose if you analyze this one, you see this top, what is the Kashmir, it is there. Kashmir, as we know that when it is a totally hilly area, this whatever the Uttarakhand and these regions are there, and Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, these regions are very thinly populated, very less it is there. Why? Because of the hilly region. And even if you see this water in the central India, Rajasthan, as we know, desert area it is there. Madhya Pradesh, most of the area is occupied with the forest. So that is what here we can see, very less population. And the other regions you see here, what is the Bihar, Bengal, very fertile soil and very good, whatever the mineral resources are there. So the population is more. So like this one, density of the population is also one of the important one. Now let's see about the age structure. According to this one, we have the three categories: children, working population, and aged. Children, it means generally 15 years and below, we are treated them as a children, and family will take care of these people. Generally, these people are whereas school going children, and educational and medicinal facilities, that one it is need for these people. That depend on parents for this one it is. And even for other what are the small things also, they are depend on the parents. And it is not too good to send these children to the work, because of they are the future citizens and they have to develop first physically and as well as mentally. Working population, which is an important one to the India, to the any country, 15 to 60 years, the age group it is. Very economical group it is. These people are very important for economic and social development of the country. Of course, development of the country depends on these people only. Now next, aged people who are almost retired and who are most of the people depend on their pensions, and others they are depend on their offspring, means on their children it is. So however, in our country, even at this age also, they are working in unorganized sectors. Most of the aged people are working. Usually they have high money needs, especially for the purpose of medical facilities, because of so many diseases that one they'll suffer. So there is need of medical necessities. Here it is age composition, we can see it is. This is the green one, 60 plus age group it is there. This is from 1971, 81, 91, 2001, 2011 it is. So here it is, you can observe that when it is 60 plus people are increasing, and in the same way, whatever the 15 to 59 also it is increasing, but 0 to 14, that when it is reducing, means birth rates are coming down in our country. Means in future we can see maximum working people, means in the world itself, our country will be the largest working people. So here it is, any country needs development, so there is a need of this occupations it is. So workers are important factors of production. Here it is within the country, if we see, we have the three major professions are there. Primary occupations means agriculture, animal husbandry, forests, and fisheries. These are all called as basic occupations it is. Secondary means we can say it as an industrial sector. In small, medium, and large scale industries, they are called as a secondary occupations. And the tertiary, nothing but a service when it is there, such as a transportation, communication, banking, finance. They are called as under the service sector it is. So occupational wise, sector wise, if we see, out of 121 crores, we have 40 crores are working population. Total 121 crores, 40 crores are the working one it is there. Means less than 50%. Agriculture still it is a dominated one only. It is a main for the employment sector. So many people are working in that one. Agriculture sector, 50% of the workforce is there. But income wise, only 19% in the GDP. Even though 50% of the working force are working in that one, but only 19% of the income it is there. Why? Because of the overburden in the agriculture sector. More number of people are working than that one, which we call it as a disguised unemployment it is. More number of people, even the removal of some people from the agriculture will have no effect on agricultural production. Means they are extra. If they shift to the other sectors, then the country can develop well. So here you can compare this, whatever the shares in employment and shares in the GDP, that if you see 73-74 and 2017-18, 74% it was there in 73-74, which came down to 44%. And these two sectors, industry and service, has increased. Services 31 and industry 29%. But when we see about the GDP, that much growth it is not there, downfall it is not there. 43% GDP it was, share of agriculture in GDP it was there. Now 19%. 44% of the people are 40% of the people are working, but they are providing 19% only. Services 31% they are working, but they are earning 53%. Same industries 29% it is there. They are earning almost the same. So 25 to 28%. Means here still more number of people are there who has to shift from agriculture sector to other sectors. So 47% in the agriculture, 22% in the industry, 31% in the service sector. GDP wise, if we take agriculture 19%, industry 28%, and services 53%. Means services are providing very good incomes. Now let's see about in the employment, we have the two type of the people are there: organized sector and unorganized. Organized sector means workers of companies that follow systematic process and policies. Means here it is they have proper policies. Government regulations are there in this one. Means here it is for them the salaries are fixed. Factories Act and Minimum Wage Act is provided under this one. It is employment opportunities in this sector is very less. Still it is not developed. Development is very slow in this one. It is. Means here it is a definite pattern of production and employment will be there in the organized sector. They will get very good salaries in this one, and regular salaries will be there. If you see the opposite side, unorganized sector, they do not comply with the government regulations. Employees are underpaid and have no security. Means at any time they can remove. There will be more work and less payment is there in this one. Employer can remove the employee at any time, and there are a large number of self-employed people in the service sector who sell vegetables, fruits, small items in the market and streets for their livelihood. Means if you, most of the people on the streets, whoever you see, they are unorganized sector. They don't have any security. Even normal labor also we will see on the streets, they are also under the unorganized sector. Means in India, most of the people, means total out of the working people, more than 90% of the people are there who are under the unorganized sector only. Now let's see about the rural urban population. India is a country with it is a villages country. According to 2011 census, rural population is around 83 crores. It is there, 833.5 million cities. Urban population is 37.7 crores. It is means 377.1 million. It is means 68.8% lives in the villages only. Only 31.2 lives in the towns. Means most of the people are there still depend on the agriculture and they are in the villages only. According to the 2011 census, Delhi is a high urban populated one because of it is a capital city of the country with 97.5%. Goa 62%, Mizoram 52%, Tamil Nadu 48%, Kerala 47%, and Maharashtra 45%. Urban population is there. The most rural areas, Himachal Pradesh 90%. Why? Because of mostly hill areas, so most of the towns not developed. Bihar, quite backward one, 89%. Assam 86%, Meghalaya 80%, and Uttar Pradesh 78% it is there. So this is the rural urban composition what we can see. Students, with this one we come to end of this lesson. Now let us examine some of the model questions. Now, what is population density? What are the basic occupations? What are the birth, death, and infant mortality rates? Indicates the age composition of population in India. Give examples of the unorganized sector. Give examples of the service sector. These are the some of the sample questions. Still, you can frame the different type of the questions. Read the textbook thoroughly and or note down the points, very important points, whatever it is there. Like this one, you can prepare for the examination very well. Thank you. Thank you very much for the listening of this lesson. We'll meet with the another topic in the next session. Thank you very much.